This is Kenny Wallace. I just came from the third town hall regarding the North Little Rock sales tax. It's called a town hall. It's really a sales pitch. It's about 45 minutes where Mayor Joe Smith spends about half the time selling his sales tax that is scheduled for Tuesday, August 8th. Of course, it's a special election designed to minimize voter turnout. It could have been scheduled for November of 2016 when they knew these problems that they're trying to pay for were occurring. Would have saved several $1,000s, but they wanted to schedule this to minimize voter turnout. They say they need it August 8th rather than waiting until 2018 because they'd make $4 million more. But of course, they could have added more time to the amount that this tax increase was going to last if they wanted to do that. This town hall was held at North Heights Recreation Center. It only had about 25 people, because of course with a special election designed to minimize voter turnout, you're going to minimize voter participation. Most of these people have already made up their minds. They had the mayor, 2 aldermen who had voted for the item along with his staff, and the Chamber of Commerce had their representative there. And of course I still went to try to educate some voters about the items that are missing in the presentation. Joe Smith's done about 36 of these presentations, and all these presentations, the items that are the wasteful government spending on pet projects are deliberately left out, specifically the $2 million that are spent on Central Arkansas Transit, the $339,000 that are spent on the trolley. He also leaves out the raises. And of course he has a standard canned response when these issues are brought up, which they have to be brought up because again, they're not in his presentation. I had brought these up during the last town hall meeting at Sherman Park, and I was given this weird, bizarre stat about 10,000 people riding the Central Arkansas Transit.
Yeah, no, your facts are not correct. Let me talk a little bit about the bus, because somebody always brings it up, and he brings it up every time he has an opportunity. You know that Rock Region Metro carries 10,000 people a day. 10,000 people a day. Do you know where they're going? To work. To work. Talk to your hospitals. Talk to your malls, your retail centers, and all that stuff, and ask them how do people get to work. They get to work by the bus. Now, would I spend $2 million a year to get 10,000 people to work? Absolutely. He's not taking those things into consideration at all.
I don't believe it.
So, I can go on, and I have a rebuttal for everything he said, but I'm going to bore you with it. But
he never cited the source of this weird stat, nor did he give a reason why we should be subsidizing people going to work, nor did he cite what are these people coming from North Little Rock. It was just it's 10,000 people, and I feel like it's right to write a $2 million check to Central Arkansas Transit, which gets a lot of money from other sources, by the way, federal funds and county funds, I believe funds from Little Rock and possibly other metropolitan areas. It was a scam when it was started. It's a scam now that we're wasting money on, money that should be spent on police, fire, sanitation, and street repair. So that was at the last town hall. At this town hall, I tried to get a little more specific. I brought up these issues again because, again, he left them out of his presentation. And I tried to get a specific dollar amount on the big pet project that was also left out of his presentation, the plaza. The plaza is supposed to be this water fountain area with benches and I guess plugins for hipsters, workers that are supposed to magically appear. I think it's based off of one that's based in Fort Worth, Texas. And in one Arkansas Online article, it's supposed to be anywhere from $4 to $6 million in cost. And I've heard different amounts about that property was sold to build this plaza, and I believe it was somewhere around $2 million. But I wanted to get the exact amount of how much this thing was going to cost. That's why I asked dollar amount, and I emphasized that. You'll see that in the clip there. And then I asked the specific dollar amount of how much it costs to maintain and why that was not in the presentation. And
Well, of course, you give the option of either do nothing or sanitation fee. There actually is a third option, and that is to cut the items that is not needed by the city. Of course, one of it is just the $2 million that we are using to subsidize the Central Arkansas Transit. That is the empty bus system. That should have been used to repair this area. $339,000 that's going to River Rail. That is, of course, the empty trolley system. One of the other things I was going to ask, you asked about the tax increase on sales, the hamburger tax. I know that it was supposed to have been passed earlier and then it was delayed, so we're going to get hit with that later on. I would like to know how much money y'all are going to get from that. And then, of course, the big thing that was not mentioned in any of these presentations and seems to be left out is what is the actual dollar amount that is being spent on the big pet project tourist plan known as the Plaza. I keep hearing that, well, it basically paid for itself and it's supposedly bought and paid for. I really think that the police and fire station should have been worked on instead of whatever this pet project is. But I also tried to look for it and I can't. I don't know. I looked on the city website and maybe I missed it. But what is the actual dollar amount that thing has cost? How much does it cost to maintain it, and why could we not use those funds to repair our police and fire stations instead of allowing them to fall apart the way they have?
well, first I get the standard canned response regarding the 10,000 people on the Central Arkansas Transit bus system. And I asked a very simple question, according to whom? And I asked this because the stat had been rolled around and it hadn't been verified the last time. And while I was asking yet another citizen who didn't fully believe the bogus stat, he asked another question from North Little Rock, which, when you think about it, is very important. Remember, this is $2 million from the city of North Little Rock. So are we subsidizing people to go to work from Little Rock to somewhere else, and why? Instead of saying, no, I'll get to that, or let me finish, or, I don't know, maybe actually answering the questions, Mayor Joe Smith gave this rude, arrogant response.
Thank you, and I'll certainly address those. As I've addressed them before, and you didn't listen to my answers last time.
What a dollar amount.
The $2 million that we spend on the bus system, we have a ridership of 10,000 people a day that ride on our public transportation.
According to who?
In North Little Rock?
Please, I have the floor.
You've had it for a while, so. But go ahead.
This is my town hall, it's not yours. If you want to have a
Amen.
town hall, you go have your own.
Amen. Amen.
The bus.
Yeah, this was his town hall, not we the people's town hall, not a place where he could hear from constituents their ideas and their thoughts and their concerns. No, this was his town hall, and about 3 or 4 of his cheerleaders gave amens to the sovereign's town hall. That's it's that kind of attitude that has left us in the situation that we're in. It appears that Mayor Joe Smith just simply believes that we're nothing but a funding source for pet projects and raises for him and his buddies, and that's pretty much it. He doesn't care what happens to us. We could turn into Somalia tomorrow, and parts of Little Rock will still try to fund another hipster going green project. I mean, does this sound like a person that cares about what people think? His constituents, the people who pay his salary, which was increased, by the way, this year, and money that could have also been used to repair police stations, fire stations, do some street repair. That's the kind of arrogance that we're dealing with, and I can assure you that a tax increase is not going to fix it, it's going to make it worse. I also did ask about the hamburger tax that had also been forgotten in the presentation, and that was dealt with later on when another constituent asked if a sanitation fee was going to be raised after this tax increase was done, and there wasn't a promise given on that, so we're probably going to get hit with more taxes after this thing is passed, based on the behavior of Joe Smith. And then Joe Smith, of course, never gives the dollar amount for the Park Plaza. I said Park Plaza, I meant just Plaza. Nor does he give a dollar amount on how much the trolley is making. And of course, after his canned response, he just basically peters off and says that he claims that he's already answered my questions. Of course, he started this little tirade with the idea that I've already answered these questions, but you've never listened, which is a lie. He's never given a dollar amount on how much the trolley makes. Of course, his bogus stat on the Central Arkansas Transit has never been verified. He's never talked about the money we spent on flags and bike paths and the raises and why we couldn't just cut some of the salaries the departments besides police, fire, sanitation, and street repair. Why we couldn't cut the money that we're wasting on the submarine and the tugboat, the other tourist pet projects done by his predecessor Pat Hayes that were also supposed to bring in tourist dollars and pay for themselves. So yeah, these town halls, and I suspect the next one's going to be the same thing. They're really not town halls, they're sales pitches made by a rude, arrogant politician who doesn't care about his constituents, especially if they're black. Yeah, that was a black guy that was talking about Levy crime that he had dismissed earlier. That's another video. And so that's why I'm urging people to vote against this sales tax, because we need real leadership, and we need to force this leadership to actually care about these things. It's really disgusting what Mayor Smith has done, and his predecessor Pat Hayes, and a lot of city leadership in general. They've allowed these very important items, police stations and fire stations, to fall apart while funding pet projects, and then turn around and say, we need money. We need money. Look at, cry. If you saw how these firefighters are living, you'd cry. No, I wouldn't cry. I'd be angry. I'd be angry about why we wasted money on stupid pet projects instead of fixing the fire stations, where they have soot coming in from the fire engine into their bedroom. That's laziness and negligence on Mayor Smith and Mayor Pat Hayes. And you could also add our incompetent county leadership, Barry Hyde, and his predecessor, Buddy Valines, and a lot of the court justices there. They've been wasting their money on bike paths. They want to waste money on a 65-mile bike path from Central Arkansas to Hot Springs and they've earmarked those funds to only be spent on federal projects, when they know full well they could have removed those funds from an earmark and at least devote it to either street repair, or remove those funds even further and put them into actual repairs on items that are needed, like the police station. That is a city within the county. I mean, we pay a county tax. Why can't Pulaski County put for some funds to repair our police station, our fire station, which I just found out also often goes to outside of North Little Rock in order to deal with fires, particularly in Maumelle. So we basically have local leadership that doesn't care about us. They care about pet projects and giving themselves raises. Mayor Joe Smith, the city employees, both elected and unelected officials, received, let's see here, I got it right here because I don't remember it. I want to get the dollar amount right. Unlike Joe Smith, I actually do care about dollar amounts. $2.37 million that they've gotten raises from this year and last year. Including that, and some of those do include police and firefighters, and you could make the argument that maybe they deserve raises. But certainly the mayor doesn't deserve a raise. The staff doesn't deserve a raise. There's a lot of other officials, unneeded officials, that don't deserve a raise when you have police stations and fire stations fall apart. But this is the kind of attitude I'm dealing with. If you're sick of government wasting money, if you don't trust government, vote against the North Little Rock sales tax. If you live outside of the city of North Little Rock, you can still join and like our Facebook page, share it, share this video, other videos that are on the YouTube account, Keep Arkansas Legal. You can click on the ads for free. I also have a GoFundMe page where you can help fund this effort to defeat this tax increase.